and gets both to drop at the line. Celtics have it. Walker to Parker. Takes stock of the floor. Shot from in close, no good. Into the front court, it's Booker. Lead is 12. Terrific vision. Mikal Bridges with the strong finish.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Paul across the timeline. His guys leading by 14. A pass taken away by the Celtics.
You know, Ed, sometimes you're just more ready to play than your opponent. The intensity and the effort is off the charts.
To Kemba Walker. Here comes the screen. Kemba Walker matched up with Paul. Tatum. Not easy.
We love to break this game down analytically. We even love to break it down more psychologically. But sometimes it's just about settling into the game. Seemed like in the first half things were rushed. Now we finally see them have their composure and their poise.
Mikal Bridges to Paul. The Suns with 4 to shoot. Going to launch beyond the arc. And drains it.
As a defender, you should take it personally when a contested three goes in. That's good defense, but it's not good enough.
Celtics have it. Thompson to Marcus Smart. Boston with 4 to shoot. Shot by Tatum won't go. Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
The one thing we know for certain in this league, it doesn't matter how big the margin is, you can always put together a run and get back in this one.
Paul to Booker. Here comes the screen. Booker to Paul. Nice pass to set things up. Got it.
Hey, one of the things I hear all the great teams say in the huddle, they say 1, 2, 3, no mercy. Now it's time for you to go even harder on the defensive end.
Walker. To Parker. A pass stolen by Phoenix.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
Mikal Bridges to Booker. To Paul. Booker. Chance for Paul. The shot almost. To Walker. Off the assist.
And ISO basketball is becoming a thing of the past. Team basketball is back. And if you have that personnel with the versatility plus the mindset, game over.
Slam dunk, DeAndre Ayton. Jay, I'm surprised he had a chance to wrap him up.
Well, you're not the only one surprised. This guy is not a good free throw shooter. You never let him have an easy bucket. If anything, make him earn it at the charity stripe.
To Parker. Walker. They'll get it down to Thompson. And a chance coming up at the line.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
Tristan Thompson, couple of free throws on the way. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. First free throw is good.
That's a bucket. That's a bucket.
And fails to hit them both. Hits the first, misses the second. Paul with it up top. The advantage is 13 points. He throws it down.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Here's Paul, controlling the offense. Goes to the right side. Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. Look out, Devin Booker. He's now 5 for 6.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ballgame.
Tristan Thompson with the slam. Here on their home floor, they're chipping away.
I mean, does this crowd have a pulse? Are they even alive? Sometimes when you make a play like that, your crowd needs to get you back in this ball game.
Mikal Bridges to Booker. Layup goes down.
And a lot of passers usually have their head on the swivel, but ultimately, either you have a feel for the game or you don't.
Boston with the basketball. To Marcus Smart. Here comes the screen. And he'll go to the foul line.
Okay, now we're on the home stretch, and you got a big lead. Don't let your opponent back in this game by giving up extra possessions.
Off the mark on the first free throw. Good bounce back. Hits the second. It's a 1-of-2 trip. Paul into the front court. They lead it by 14. Trying to cash in. Paul shot off the mark. The follow won't go either.
What happened is he didn't balance himself off the defender. He didn't initiate contact. He allowed the contact to initiate him. We could break that down later in the broadcast, but that's why he missed that easy chipper.
Tight space with the crossover. Short jumper and a putback slam.
And that's what he does. I love players like this. We don't need to draw any plays for you to go out and get yours.
Paul. And a pass stolen by Boston. To Marcus Smart. Goes reverse to lay it in.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
To Paul. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. Beyond the arc for 3. They need something to go down. It's no good. To Jaylen Brown. Fires the 3 and knocks it down. Jay, the defender, tough to gamble that time beyond the arc.
Well, easy difference there. In the first half, the offense allowed the defense to settle into their half-court sets defensively, and that's why the shots were all contested. But now, since they picked up the pace of the game, they're getting a lot more action out of transition threes.
Knocked loose. Celtics come away with it. Oh, he's denied.
Oh, big man doing work right there.
Here comes the screen. He had all day and all night to knock that one down. Need to hear more chatter on the defensive end.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in the defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Paul. With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
Ball's controlled by Boston. To Jaylen Brown. The drive, right to the basket, in a flash, scores at the rim.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Scores from the post.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
Paul into the front court. Leads 3. A bad pass, and the Celtics have it. Too much contact, and free throws coming.
The game is too tight for you to be taking risks like that. You want to avoid foul trouble at all costs.
Marcus Smart at the line for 2 shots. Shoots it at 75% for his career. First try at the line, no good. Knocks down the second after missing the first. It's Suns ball. To Paul. Brown into the front court. His guys find themselves trailing by a bucket. Here comes the screen. Stuffs it down with authority. Neither side is giving up an inch.
I guarantee you tomorrow on Complex's social feed, that play will have millions of views. And I'm really looking forward to this fourth quarter because the first 3 have lived up to the billing.
To the rim, lays it up and in.
There you go. I like seeing scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Let's go. Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick up, y'all.
To Jaylen Brown. Ah, the monster stuff.
I don't think I could do that on a 5-foot rim.
I can, because that's my only choice. Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. Sizing up the defense. Paul. Oh, nice find for the basket.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
That misses with a second to go. That ends the third quarter. The Suns have the lead.
Get open. Get open.
It's the Celtics with the ball as we start this fourth quarter. We've got a one-possession game going on. This has the look of a race that's going down to the wire.
And it looked that way from the very beginning, but this is where the coaches and the best players on the floor really earn their money down the stretch. It's game time.
Hey, big screen right there, big screen.
Has a chance. Round shot, no good. DeAndre Ayton to Booker. Now ready to shoot at the line.
I'm watching the coach's reaction right now, and I'll tell you, he's not going to be happy about that. The game comes down to the micro details. That wasn't a part of the plan right there.
Devin Booker has got 2 shots coming. A career 84% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first. Goes 2 for 2. Celtics have it.
I got blocked.
Now ready with a couple of free throws.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
Nope. First one does not go. Second one goes. It's a 1 of 2 trip. Now Paul with the basketball. Up by 3. To Booker. And look out.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
The Celtics down to 4 in the shot clock. Booker with it. Leads 5. Shot from the lane won't go. To Jaylen Brown. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
We're watching a clinic right now. We're watching basketball one-on-one. Whoever this professor is, he needs to get paid top dollar.
Suns control the possession. Paul to Booker. Surveys the floor. Booker. From the outside, no good. To Kemba Walker. Goes to the left side. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Paul. A pass taken away by the Celtics.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Kemba Walker, guarded by CP3. To Jaylen Brown. Here comes the screen. Has a look. And scores.
This is where I go back into player mode. If the dude starts to try to have 40 points on me, I'm going to foul out. I'm going to start hitting him in places he's not used to being hit. I'm trying to do anything to throw him off his game.
To Booker. Tough make through traffic.
No excuse to not be a little bit more physical there on the defensive end. Needed that stop.
Play is stopped. Timeout Boston as they'll talk things over in a one-point basketball game.
I know the fans didn't get a chance to hear this during the break, but the coaches are wearing a mic for the broadcast. I heard a lot of arguing inside the huddle. It lets you know that the intensity level is pretty high going into the fourth.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor.
I got him. Here we go.
Walker. With the rock, it's Chris Paul.
Got him. Good track.
Slam dunk, DeAndre Ayton.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. They're going to make some changes with some new personnel on the floor. Walker. Oh, the Suns come up with the steal. To Paul. Nice pass to set things up. A big finish at the rim.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Across the timeline, it's Walker. The deficit now up to 5. Fournier. Kicks it around the perimeter. Driving right to the basket. Right down Broadway, 4-2.
I know the game is changing, Ed, and I know people are very worried about, well, you don't want to be too vulgar. You don't want to say too many intense words, but sometimes there's no better remedy than when a teammate or a coach gets in your face and challenges you man to man. That's what we saw here because this player is responding.
To Walker. Trying to cash in. Wide open look, won't go.
Just seems like there's lead in the feet of the defenders. You have to bounce quicker to the ball to deter that shot.
Paul. And he's fouled. A couple of free throws coming up, Jay.
Yes, I love this move. Send him to the line. Chances are probably good he doesn't make both. And you also stop the clock while getting another possession.
First one, count it. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Walker with the basketball. Down 5. Can't connect.
Defense, let's go.
Here comes the screen. Turns and slams it down. Jay, I'm surprised. He had a chance to wrap him up.
Well, you're not the only one surprised. This guy is not a good free throw shooter. You never let him have an easy bucket. If anything, make him earn it at the charity stripe.
Nothing going here on that drive. Has a chance. Deep 2 there. Won't go.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
Celtics have it. Walker. probing the defense. Whistled for the foul. Chance coming up at the free throw line.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
Can't connect on the first free throw. Missed the second as well. Paul across the timeline. The lead stands at 9. DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Oh, great pass, setting up the basket.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive, but when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Substitution being made in this one. Walker to Parker. Boston with 4 to shoot. Short jumper won't fall. Phoenix has the ball. Mikal Bridges. Nothing going here on that drive. From the painted area, won't go down.
And that's next level defense. The defender took away the pocket space of the shooter. Now, as a shooter, they shoot hundreds of shots each and every day from that pocket with consistency. Now you force them to change the angle or the positioning of that pocket, you're going to lower the chances of them making that shot.
Oh, he had it. To Kemba Walker. Here comes the screen. Walker to Marcus Smart. 4-3. Marcus Smart forcing that one. Well defended. Into the front court. It's Booker. The lead is 11. Jason Tatum able to recover with the block. That's his 3rd block this evening.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Booker. They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock. Lets it fly from long range. And a putback slam.
If you know anything, it comes down to who wants it more. And right now, the offense is just hungrier.
Into the front court, it's Walker. The deficit now up to 13. Here comes the screen. To Walker. Get the cameras out. Flash on.
That's going to make a nice poster.
Suns with the basketball. Won't go down. Walker into the front court. His guys currently down by 13. Paul with it up top. Looking to make something happen. Count it.
I remember my high school coach said 1 man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
Across the timeline, it's Walker. Trailing by 15. To Marcus Smart. Able to convert inside.
Old school equals high percentage.
Paul into the front court. He'll run the offense. To Booker. Mikal Bridges. Count the bucket for 2.
It's so difficult to block a guy like that with that kind of athleticism and length. Your timing almost has to be perfect, but pretty much there's no stopping him when he's around the rim.
To Kemba Walker. And he's fouled. A trip to the line coming up.
Okay, now we're on the home stretch, and you got a big lead. Don't let your opponent back in this game by giving up extra possessions.
Kemba Walker. Couple of free throws on the way. He struggled so far. Oops, he missed the first one. And he's able to hit the second after missing that first one. Here's Paul, controlling the offense. And a pass stolen by Boston. Probing the defense. Off the mark. Well contested.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Stuffs it down with authority. At this point, they're twisting in the wind.
Were you looking for a response from me? Because I don't really know what else there is to even say. I mean, is this even a game? I mean, we should just start packing up and getting ready to go right now.
Here comes the screen. Oh, great defense there, forcing the pickup. Return label included.
The offense might want to adjust here. That's his fourth block of the evening.
Paul, leaving no doubt, slams it down.
I know there's that old saying that says one man can't beat five, but we're watching one man carry four other players. His back has to be hurting. Another big-time finish.
To Parker.
Hey, watch this screen left.
A pass stolen by Phoenix.
That's all she wrote. Dribble it out.
Booker to Paul. Mikal Bridges. Couple of cracks at the line now.
I don't know, Ed. Maybe there's a long-term play here. But next game, we're going to be aggressive early. Maybe.
And hits the first free throw. Two for two on that trip. Boston with the basketball. Here comes the screen. Lays it up and in. It's the Suns with the victory as they win this one handily. That does it. For my partner Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. As we say, so long, everyone.
Hey, everyone. It's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Celtics emerged victorious after a tight finish. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. The Celtics just couldn't close this one out. This loss is sure to be all the more bitter because of how well they shot from beyond the arc. Their percentage from three-point range was outstanding. Check out the leading scores for the Boston Celtics.
Game track. Assists.
You can tell both of these teams feel very comfortable in their offensive systems. There was plenty of great playmaking in this contest.
Player of the game.
Ayton seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again. He kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose, and it's been our pleasure to present you with some NBA basketball.